Yo, what's up, boys? Today I'm going to be showing you how I made $31,000 today trading NQ futures. I am really at a loss of words. I mean, this is by far the biggest day I've ever had. And it's just been, I can't even put into words, honestly, but a pretty surreal experience, just to see this number on my screen because it's just, I just can't comprehend, making $31,000. But what makes it even more funny is that, the trade I took itself was honestly one of the easier trades I ended up taking maybe this entire month, and last month too. So that's just how trading works. But before I go into the recap, I definitely wanted to show you guys some proof. But now that we go into the recap, you guys will see again just how easy this trade was, right? So going into the higher time frame on the start of the day, I was actually pretty bullish. I ended up taking a bearish trade, but pre-market wise, I was certainly pretty bullish, as you guys can see on the 4 hour time frame. There is some, obviously, hold on, let me go back real quick. You guys will see that, we do certainly have some pretty, at least conviction wise, some pretty strong bullish price structure towards the upside. And we were also in all-time highs range, as you guys can see. So obviously going into the day, I was certainly bullish. And that is going to be the same story with what is seen in the 1 hour time frame. So that is what is being seen right here, right? So with that being said, in terms of my conviction going into taking this bearish trade, it wasn't I wasn't the most confident. I was certainly confident. Don't get me wrong, but just seeing how we were moving, as you guys will see once I play out these candles. Again, it was a bearish continuation I ended up taking off my model. And it was off this very, very small fair value gap we created on market open, right? So we ended up creating this fair value gap. And as soon as we end up retracing into this fair value gap, you guys will see a very strong rejection, followed with some very strong, uh, displacing candles towards the downside, right? On the 1 minute time frame, you guys will see real quick that as we end up playing these candles. By the way, I end up taking my continuation trades off of a displacement into a point of interest, which I will show you guys just a second once this ends up playing out. All right, we finally got it to load in. So at this very point in time, right, going back into the 5 minute time frame, you guys can see that we are very certainly pushing towards bearish direction, right? And again, before I take any of my trades, I have to have some higher time frame context within it. So again, looking at the 4 hour at this very instant, what I ended up doing was seeing just how strong this bearish candle was displacing right towards the downside at this point in time. So this was the 4 hour time frame, and you guys can see that there was reason for us to go lower. Unfortunately, we were able to displace higher into all-time highs, and we ended up getting again a bearish setup followed with some what seemed to be a start of a bearish downtrend, right? So in terms of price targets, I did have this pretty strong 4 hour swing low, as you guys can see. And I did end up just marking these ones too, but nothing too crazy for me to target. And then again, going into the 1 hour time frame, you guys can see that this swing low was actually just much more evident. This was a very what's it called? Just more standout type of take profit, I guess you could say, just swing low, simply said, just because of how, alone it is in terms of the wick itself. So that was my initial target. I did end up targeting this too, but that wasn't really anything too crazy. So going again into the 1 minute time frame, I don't just enter off of continuations just like so. I certainly have some confluences within the lower time frames. So again, although I did end up taking a 5 minute bearish continuation towards the downside, I ended up taking it off the 1 minute. We had some confluences within this inverse, and then obviously I always look for my continuations to displace past the point of interest, which in this case was this low right here. So as soon as we do that, I also have a fake out model within the 5 second time frame that I unfortunately can't show you guys here because TradingView doesn't allow me to use a 5 second time frame. But essentially what it is a displacement past this level on the 5 second with a candle to obviously inverse it in a sense, a second candle or a series of candles to retrace back into it, and then once again followed with a rejection back down. So we ended up getting that as soon as we ended up displacing, and I ended up entering the trade like right around here. So we got a very nice entry, and I had my stop loss at this right here, this wick. Basically my only right blockages here would be this 1 minute fair value gap. So if we ended up inversing this fair value gap and going a little bit higher past this fair value gap after we touched into it, then I would have lost the trade. But those are my two kind of just shields right within the trade. And then in terms of a take profit, I ended up taking what was seen right here. This was my initial take profit, but you guys can see literally the next candle, I'm already up 38 points. So as soon as we play this out, you guys will see that like I literally hit TP in what, 4 minutes. I mean, this was insane. Like I didn't even need to really move my stop loss because again, there was no real like retracement, right? As soon as we entered the trade, it was just straight dump towards the downside, and again, we ended up just getting really just paid for it. So I literally made money, or at least $31,000 in 4 minutes. It's really that easy, it really is. And it's just again surreal. Like I ended up taking this, and that's, I mean, literally how I made that much money trading NQ futures today.